Hey, welcome to Biggest Gospel Show. And today I'd like to talk about being a good receiver. Being a good receiver. Well, many times we ask things from the Lord, and yes, He says, "Ask and you receive, seek and you find." First John 5 talks about. James says, "You have not because you ask not." First John comes and says, "Whatsoever you shall ask, as long as it's according to His will, you shall receive those things." But recently, the Lord rebuked me about uh, being a bad receiver. Yes, there's such a thing as being a bad receiver. And you're wondering, how would I be a bad receiver? You know how you are a parent and you pay tuition for that child who doesn't say thank you? Yes, that's how some of us have been bad. So I'm going to share some principles about us being good receivers. I think firstly, if you want to be a good receiver, you have to give thanks. People who give thanks are always good receivers. Give thanks to the Lord for His love endures forever. We see the psalmist many times always giving thanks for the things God has done for him, remembering the things that the Lord has done for him. So I discovered that one of the elements or attributes of good receivers are people who give thanks. Don't be the kind who pray for something and when God gives you something, peace, you're out. It's about giving thanks. Now, giving thanks can be in words or giving gifts to Him. I don't know which other principles I could give, but if they come up, the Lord will direct me. Well, after giving thanks, we have giving. Good givers are good receivers. Now, giving is, of course, monetary mostly. And under giving, we have tithing, first fruiting, and giving in general. Tithing, if you've noticed, even God is testing, He's saying, test me and see if I'll not open up the windows of heaven. That's in Malachi 3. Like God is saying, dare me. So, and if you remember the story of Abraham with Melchizedek, when he won the battle, yes, and then he made Melchizedek the high priest, his first reaction was, I think that's Genesis chapter 14, he gave a tenth of what he had won from the war, and gave it to the high priest. Now, after that, the high priest said, "Blessed be the God of Abraham, possessor of heaven and earth." And then he came and talked and also glorified God Himself. What this meant was we tithe not because we want a blessing, but we tithe because we've already been blessed. Because Abraham, hope I've not mixed them wrong. Let me see. Yes, we tithe because we are blessed, and we don't tithe to get the blessing. You get what I'm trying to say? Like every time you give your tithe, you're acknowledging that you're blessed. Every time you give tithe, you're acknowledging that yes, you're a child of Abraham. Every time you give tithe, you're saying, yes, I'm a possessor of heaven and earth, just like my father Abraham, which was said of him in Genesis chapter 14. So if you don't tithe, you are disacknowledging, you do not believe that you're Abraham's seed. You don't believe that you're Abraham's offspring. You don't believe that you're blessed. So if you're not a tither, you're not a good receiver. You've not received the blessing which was mentioned to you in Galatians 3:29, whereby Paul was saying, if you are Christ, then you are a seed of Abraham. And the blessing was that in him or through him, all nations of the earth, all the families of the earth would be blessed. You get that was Jesus. Then when you read it, Father Abraham had many sons, had Father Abraham, and I'm one of them, and so are you. You get the blessing is mentioned in Genesis chapter 12, I think. 2 2 to 3. You know, when he says, I'll bless those who bless you and I'll curse those who curse you. I'll make your name great. Through you, I'll make you a blessing. It's just so amazing. Jene. When you tithe, you're acknowledging that. You know, it's like how you, generally, like, as I've already said, one of the ways giving thanks, and then tithing. Tithing is like you're receiving the receipt that, oh yes, I'm really, really, really blessed. Obviously, fast fruiting is still under giving, and it's still. Another third way for us to be good receivers is believing. When Angel Gabriel showed up to Mary, Mary said, Be unto me according to thy word. She believed the word that had been sent to her by the angel. She didn't doubt it. How many words has the Lord spoken over you that you have doubted? If he has said, By my stripes you are healed, and you doubted it, you're not being a good receiver. It's like you're being given a gift and you're these mean, crying kids with mucus in their mouth, and you slap down the kid, or something. You're being a bad receiver. Believe every scripture that the Lord has written about you. If he has said wealth and riches are in your house in Psalms 112 verse 3, believe it. If he has said you will call a nation that you know of, and nations did not know about will come flooding to you, believe it. He says, if he says nations shall come to rising and kings to the brightness of your light rising, or the other way around, believe it. Believe it. That's one good way of being a good receiver. Because many of us may be asking God, why are you not giving me this? It's because you're not being a good receiver. He's giving you stuff these ends, he's giving you stuff those ends, but for you want it to be wrapped in white, or you want thunder and lightning to bring it. I don't know. But now, seeing that one of the ways is giving thanks, is giving and believing. The fourth way is staying humble. Staying humble. I don't know. Let me give an example of David. David was anointed as king of Israel, but he didn't go around stepping on people's heads. You get what I'm trying to say? David, when he was anointed by Samuel, didn't go around on his brothers, hey, you guys, make way for me, let me walk on you, let me step on you. No, he remained humble. Now, humility is acknowledging or accepting what God has said about you. Whatever thing is said in the word. Now, this is after believing. You have to be humble enough. It is a lie. Let me say, it's a lie when it is false. It's not even false humility. It's pride for you not to believe what God has said in his word. If you say that I became poor so that you could be rich. If you're proud, you won't accept that. For you, religion has taught us to be, no, that's being pride. Sorry, proud. That's being proud. So staying humble is believing everything that God has said about you in his word. And just, it crosses over into the action points of view. Joseph was humble when he stated what he dreamed. He wasn't lying about anything. You get what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, his family was mad, but in the end we realized that the dreams were actually saving them in return. But he was humble enough to believe whatsoever dreams he had. What dreams has the Lord given you? And you're bashing them about what dreams has the Lord given you? Say, no, it has already been done. What, you're being a bad receiver if you are discrediting them, if you think they're not good enough. So give thanks, keep giving, believe, and stay humble. Those are 4 of the ways the Lord has revealed to me that will help us be good receivers. And for good receivers, will keep adding us more and more of these things. So God bless you. God keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. And may you be a good receiver today. Bye-bye.